Good morning from Yummy Bay TV. Wishing you all well today. Sending lots of love on a cold, foggy day down here in the countryside. First things first, I am putting up a video on my community page, right? And my nephew has answered this video in some formal way already on his real life TV channel, right? You'll quite clearly see it's a young boy, a big young boy, hitting somebody else's mum. Back in the day, we know, us lot, that is a no-go. The moral code, that was the one thing that you would never, ever have got away with, which to me back in the day would mean that what you just did there will be taking you to the boneyard, which means the cemetery. But we're not promoting that on Yummy B TV. We're going to be highlighting this kind of stuff. Me and my nephew will be going live to discuss this kind of behavior in recent times in our community, amongst other things. I'm talking about, from a prison point of view today, what I saw as a bad man, and the difference between a bad man, in my opinion, and an evil man. Me and my nephew will also be bringing this subject to the table. So get ready for that. It looks absolutely horrendous if you asked Uncle Yummy. Right, today, from a prison environment, right? Prison environment, the way that I was taught, the way that I was brought up, and what did it mean to me, right? A bad man versus an evil man, the difference between the two, and the way that I kind of probably blinded by the way that I'm analysing it. To be honest, in reality, but in the way that I grew up, I can only associate a bad man as another name for being a gangster of some kind. We don't hit women, we don't hit children, but we do this. One of those pointers, my first pointer, is a bad man doesn't bully, take on vulnerable targets. When somebody says no, I don't want it, right? It's not they don't. They give you the choice first. They say, listen, are you gonna ride, or are you gonna, you know what I mean, or are we gonna fall out? And you say no, that you're not meant to hurt that person. That's the way that I saw that. I seen bad men take mouth of smaller people and they won't fight them because they know already that they could beat them, right? They keep it proper within the moral code of the streets, the way that they were taught in jail. They only call it, they don't talk about what they're going to do next. They turn up. When it comes down to it, when two bad men fight, really, anyone, it depends. If you say, right, a bad man, he challenges, just saying, I'm a bad man, I challenge Tony Argent, right? So I swing. So I could be, you could be getting a better in a row, whatever. Well, I wouldn't, but you know, like that. Tony might think in his mind, all right, that bit there, it's going to get sticky. I'm going to take it that one little bit step level further, and I'm going to out it. You know what I mean? Because then I'm sending the message out, don't play about with me. You know what I mean? So you are the threshold. You know, you could have stood there and you could have had the row. We could have all fought. All those men, they don't want to lose or have any inklings where you could come back. You know what I mean? It gets very serious in that life and that game. A lot of gangland killings are you or them at some stage, or the fear factor that they could come back and finish you off, or what does everybody else going to think of me? A real factor in pushing people on over the threshold and doing something really serious. I'm telling you one thing, a lot of those bad men that I talk about have regrets, right? I'm saying, for instance, when they do something wrong, right? Now, since I've been out, I used to look down on domestics, right? When men fighting with their girlfriend and relationships and stuff like that. I always used to believe that you can't put your hand, but I know emotions can run high now. A couple of you got me on this, because a couple of times, right, for a minute I lost the plot, but I wasn't right-minded. No excuses. I was out my nut, yeah. But when they said no, or someone looks vulnerable, they don't want to know, and you can see the pain. You know that they look scared or whatever. I quickly changed back. I said, fuck, effing hell, man. You know what I mean? I see it from a lot of bad men in there. When they say something wrong to someone on the spur of the moment, or they argue, they call their missus's names, or they say something off, they leave and they say, I wish I wouldn't have said that, man. And then they go back and they apologise. Or the emotional control runs a bit out of the way where me, when I used to do wrong things, it used to upset me afterwards where I go and make things worse in other departments, i.e. drugs. Oh, I hate myself, man. I wish I would have never done that bit. Do you know that one time, right? I went for a window, right? I rang the doorbell about 15 times, right? And no one answered, right? I was in the wrong. We knew that I was a thief and a crook, right? I got through the window. When I got into the bedroom and I was completely and utterly out of my box, right? Big gaff, yeah. Like, my history, sadly. I've ended up going to, it's a long corridor. I've gone into the bedroom. There's a lady in there with headphones on. I pushed open the door. I was shocked, right? But I saw the jewellery box. I said, look, can I take the jewelry? I tried to speak in a foreign language and take the jewelry, but I've never done this kind of thing in front of anyone before, right? But I didn't want to, when your mind's demented a little bit and you're thinking, she said to me, to get out, right? I'm going to call the police, so I didn't bother. I legged it out, right? Later, but I never touched her, nothing like that, right? When they got me in the police station, they had me sitting in the chair, right, in Belgravia. This is the policeman to me. I got nicked. There was something else, and then he brought up that, yeah, because I left. There was some bag or something. There was a build-up. There was some little nonsense thing where I pushed my way out of the entrance door and got away. Right now, when he brought it up, he said, "Yeah, but you did suggest the jewelry box off the lady, right?" I went ballistic. I go, look at them. Are you mad? You talk. Their faces went red. My solicitor says, Yami, sit down. I said to him, listen, don't you dare ever say, I never said it. I never took the jewelry. Yami, she says that you suggested that. I said, what did she say? What did she say? He said, Yami, sit down. She said that you suggested the jewelry. She told you where to go and you legged it, right? But for a minute, you was gonna, I didn't want to accept that bit. Because I knew, Sammy, you said that one line for a minute, but you didn't follow through. I didn't want that bit because I knew that I was out of my box. And I said to myself, I didn't want to do, that's not me. I'm not having that. But it hurts bad. So that's in my worst states. The only time it ever happened, right? Apart from when I was running around with the gun, robbing him and frightening and pulling my jacket back like I was the great John Dillinger, right? Sadly, scaring the life out of people. You never put your hand on no one. It does not matter. When someone says no, your missus, even in jail with the great ones, they won't fight you if you don't want to fight. They don't want to fight unless you've hit someone close to them and they're thinking, well, hey, you fight me. We've gone over those guardian angels of mine where at some stages during that life, if you've got Slaney, Tone and Gary Ison, and you've got Dale Croxton, you've got all those big figures in the background, some of the Irish and some of the Scottish and some of the big names over the years where I'm there and I'm mouthy and I'm ready to go. Because I used to think I was proper hard and going in cells with big geezers and all that and then going, but one of them, they're going to appear, ain't they? Oi. Nah, mate, you have it, you know what I mean? My fault, you know how it is sometimes. You can't have a row around certain people sometimes. It's to piss me off, to be honest. Especially Tony. It looks like they're not looking sometimes. You don't know that they're watching you all day. And then they see you. Some good men, you know, in that life. And I put them bad men, right, for the things they've done. They did bad things. But that's not everything they do. No, it ain't. No. Whether it's because you say, well, I didn't do that bit, I'm not doing that, I'm right on this one, I'm proper on that bit. We know it's the moral compass of a A-class gangster criminal, and what you can't do and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we have to be honest. They went over the threshold and killed. For whatever reasons, for the ego, for that time, me and them, didn't have no choice. I'm not going to lie down and die, and it was that, him or me or whatever. They went that little bit further. So then that's how I analysed the badder men. Who's a badder man for who's a badder man? Because another man, when those fights happen in those places, you're coming with that bit, you're coming with that bit, he's coming with that bit. So it's a bit staley-waley and no one's really getting through, but you know everybody's watching. So you're going to have to be stand up and be counted, because it is like the gladiator arena. And certain men are going to go, I don't, it's not really my, but I'm not having it. I'm going to set an example here today. Don't do, that's the, and those guys go that little stage further. With me, so, all right, sorry. Evil men, no conscience, gratification, desire. Whatever happened to all of us as kids, right? And I don't care. I'll stick my neck on the line today. 80% of the big time name gangsters got abused when they were little in some form of way. Yeah, they did. It's a fact by the top psychologists. There is some kind of funny, strange trauma or things that happen. The evil ones, I have to say, they're talking Belfield and you know that kind of standard there where you're absolute killing machines and you're taking on weaker targets and you hate women. So you're serial killing on that score as well, but you didn't do it with men. So you can't, you're not no bad man. You don't fall into no category of that. But there's something in your mother, what happened when you was little, for you to do it the way you do it. You'll get thrills out of it. Gratification, like I just said. You're making yourself your absolute beast and a killer machine. It's the first thing you think of with one particular kind of thing. You might have had your little other evil skirmishes where you yourself got them flicked. You're thinking, right, I'm going to go straight in and I'm going to kill them. You know what I mean? No messing about, no nothing. We're predominantly talking about ladies now, right? But, you know, people like Belfield, they had the bullying type as well, were very intimidating during other walks of life as well, where they could pick easy targets to send out messages. But really, the targets that you took on, they weren't proper bad men. No, they weren't. Because the real bad men will see right through your evilness. So I say, I do, there's no conscience. The only thing you think about, you know, your desires in some kind of way, perverted, or the way that you actually feel about yourself. And whatever happened to you, you're taking it out on one particular type of person. But the rest of the evil men in that system, with you know, 3 or 4 murders underneath their belt, with men as well, and giving them no chance during those crimes as well. There's no challenge or nothing. You're straight away going, all right, bang, kill. No chance for a man to fight back with you. No, like, come, we'll go around the corner. Not like the old days. Not like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, where Tucker was standing there and Lee Van Cleef was standing there and Clint Eastwood's a smarter one there. This is what I saw as a bad man. He was smart. He took the bullets out of Tucker's gun. Tucker was scared of Lee Van Cleef. But Blue Eyes Clint Eastwood looks at Lee Van Cleef, you're not faster than me. But Lee Van Cleef has got his eye on Blondie because he already knows that he can bat up, bully Tucker, right? So Clint Eastwood goes into the battle knowing you ain't got bullets in your gun. All I want to do is concentrate on you. Lee Van Cleef doesn't know about the bullets. So he's got to do. So you're using the tricks of the trade to get the job done. You know what I mean? You're that little bit smarter on the big day. And everybody gets a draw at the same time. Tucker's gun doesn't fire. He shoots Lee Van Cleef. And then he still left Tucker his money at the end and left him hanging up there, but then shot him down, but give him his share of the spoils. Because he knew exactly. This is what my early stages. We know about the Goodfellas and that kind of stuff, the gangster type, and you know the extortions and the game, and you know the drug running and all the things that combine together to pull in money, you know, from this joint to that joint and that kind of stuff. That's what the gangster's world is like. You still are taking liberties, stepping on people's toes, but you think you're doing it in a nice, sweet way. Basically as well. So that for a bad man, for me, that's would be what it really is in that kind of way. I know I'm getting lost a little bit, but listen, when it's not no challenge, you know what I mean? Those evil guys, right? You could see it on their eyes. So my motto, that's what I was going to say. My motto, when I know I'm surrounded by the real psychopaths, you know what I mean? When they're looking at the corner of your eye where they're junk some absolutely shit and I'm not laughing. I'm not even looking. But I took on the method. I would be able to deal with them easier than I would be able to deal with the bad men. Because I found souls in those bad men. Nice bits. And I thought to myself, I'm not really looking. But when I fell out with the evil ones, strange how then I didn't want to give them a chance either. Because I knew where you was coming from. So I'm thinking, no. I won't let you know. I'll do exactly the way that you did it Sadly, I did some couple of occasions, and I will just have to stick it straight in so that you go, because I'm not having you around. I leave it for another day, because when I bump into you again, whenever I go, I know after what I did to you there, I know that it's seriously on when I see you. So I know I'm not going to be able to duck and dive and swerve out of it. I know I like definite. I really do like definite. What I don't like is when, I'm not sure whether I should do that bit and that bit and that bit. Maybe it's not that serious. I mean, maybe you could talk your way out of it. Maybe you could do. That's what I'm saying, right? But in the beginning of time, we all came unstuck at some stage and we had to learn harsh lessons. I say the biggest thing in this video is I'm saying that the real cause, bad men, evil men, listen, you was a victim once. You don't want to feel like that again. Yeah. That's it. When that hurt you, you remember how you felt when you got violated, when you didn't win, when you didn't think it through. Someone was bigger and stronger, you were smaller. Whatever, these things can hurt well into your adulthood and make you the man that you turn out to be. Yes, the evil ones, manifestations, personalities, disorders, that kind of stuff. You were a victim of some kind, but your way of dealing with that trauma is to do it worse than what they did to you. And you're taking on targets really where there is another way of doing it without killing them, without thinking, because they're not that threatening to you. Yummy BTV coming up in a minute. I hope I made some kind of sense. I love you all dearly. Loads of love.